If you've been thinking about starting a website, then you've probably heard of WordPress and Squarespace, two platforms that are definitely on the top of the list when it comes to building a site. But here's the thing, choosing between them isn't always as straightforward as it might seem. My name is Daniel, and today I'm going to compare WordPress versus Squarespace. We're going to break down the key differences, weigh the pros and cons, and talk about which platform will work best for different types of users. Guys, make sure you check out all the useful links in the description after watching this video. There might be some nice discounts there. So whether you're a blogger looking for more flexibility, a creative trying to build a portfolio, or a small business owner looking to set up an online store, stick around. Let's get started. Who is WordPress for? Alright, let's start with WordPress. Now, WordPress is kind of the king of the web when it comes to content management systems. It's the platform that powers a huge chunk of the internet, about 40% of all websites actually. So, who is it for? WordPress is perfect for folks who want total control over their site. If you're someone who likes to get into the nitty-gritty of things, tweak every little detail, and really make the site your own, WordPress is for you. It's also great if you have some technical knowledge, or if you're planning to scale your site in the future. Whether you're running a blog, a business, or an e-commerce store, WordPress has the flexibility to grow with you. But don't worry, if you're new to all this, there are plenty of tutorials and resources to help you out. Just keep in mind, it might require a bit of a learning curve, especially if you want to really dive into customization. Who is Squarespace for? Now, let's talk about Squarespace. Squarespace is the go-to platform for folks who want to create something beautiful with minimal effort. If you're someone who values sleek design, ease of use, and doesn't want to mess around with too much technical stuff, Squarespace could be your best friend. It's perfect for people who want to build a website quickly and don't mind working within the constraints of pre-designed templates. Squarespace is great for bloggers, photographers, small business owners, and creatives who want to showcase their work without getting too bogged down by the technical side of things. If you are looking for something simple, streamlined, and pretty, Squarespace has you covered. It's all about convenience and aesthetics, so if that's your vibe, this platform might be right up your alley. Pros and cons of WordPress. Alright, now that we know who each platform is for, let's break down some of the pros and cons. WordPress, being super flexible, is packed with customization options. Want to create a fully unique site? WordPress can do that. You've got thousands of themes and plugins to choose from, so you can tweak just about anything to fit your needs. But here's the thing, guys. This flexibility can also be a bit of a double-edged sword. WordPress can get overwhelming, especially if you're not familiar with website building. You might have to do some coding, mess around with settings, or even deal with third-party tools to get things working just how you want them. And because it's self-hosted, you'll need to handle things like hosting, backups, and updates. It's not the easiest platform for a complete beginner. Pros and cons of Squarespace. Squarespace, on the other hand, is all about simplicity. One of the best features is its design. The templates are stunning, and they look professional right out of the box. If you're someone who wants a website that looks great without hiring a designer, Squarespace is a solid choice. It's also really easy to use. The drag-and-drop interface makes building your site feel like a walk in the park. However, this simplicity does come with some trade-offs. Squarespace is a bit more limited when it comes to customization. Sure, you can tweak your site, but if you're looking for something super unique, or if you want a feature that's not built into the platform, you might hit a wall. And while Squarespace takes care of hosting for you, it also means you don't have as much flexibility there either. Plus, it's a bit pricier than WordPress, especially if you're going for the more advanced plans. User-friendliness. So when it comes to user-friendliness, this is where things really differ. WordPress, like we mentioned earlier, can be a bit overwhelming, especially for beginners. It gives you a ton of freedom, but it also means you have to figure out how to set up hosting, install plugins, and update things regularly. It's not exactly a plug-and-play experience, but once you get the hang of it, it can be super rewarding. Squarespace, however, is incredibly user-friendly. You don't have to worry about things like hosting, security, or updates. Everything's managed for you, and the interface is super intuitive. You just pick a template, drag and drop your content, and you're good to go. If you want a site up and running in no time, with little to no effort, Squarespace is definitely the way to go. Plugins. Now, let's talk about plugins, which are the huge part of WordPress. If you're looking to add a specific feature to your website, chances are there's a plugin for it. From SEO tools to e-commerce integrations, WordPress has an almost endless supply of plugins that allow you to enhance your site's functionality. The best part, many of them are free. Squarespace doesn't have plugins in the same sense. While it has built-in features for things like e-commerce, blogging, and galleries. If you want to add a feature that's not part of the platform, you're kind of out of luck. Some users might find that limiting, especially if they want something more advanced. But honestly, if you're someone who just wants a solid, simple website, Squarespace's built-in features might be all you need. Customization. Now, when it comes to customization, let me actually show you the real difference. Let's compare WordPress with Squarespace domains. We'll install WordPress on Verpex, a hosting service that lets you build a website starting at just 60 cents per month. Now let's head to the WordPress dashboard and see what it offers, along with its key advantages. First, you can install a wide variety of themes to suit any taste. There's a large selection, primarily from the WordPress store. For example, we can search for a blog template and browse through themes for any purpose. There's really a huge number of styles to choose from. Another advantage is that we can use these themes in the Elementor page builder. This allows us to edit them just as easily as we would with any similar web page editor. We can add or edit text here and fully customize the website's design to our liking. Squarespace also allows us to create websites, and it has a page builder too. We can choose from a certain number of templates, but there aren't as many options as with WordPress. For example, there are only 51 blog templates available. However, you can still pick a design that suits you. Select a color scheme and start building your site with practically any template, then fine-tune it in the editor. Squarespace is somewhat limited by the template you choose. You can only adjust a few settings on your website, and any additional plugins you might need are also available in limited quantities. WordPress is a completely different story in this regard. You can install plugins for almost any need using the WordPress store, and most of them are free. Of course, some plugins have premium versions, just like in Squarespace. WordPress also offers a huge variety of plugins for SEO. For example, if you need to work on search optimization, you'll find plenty of options. There are also plugins to set up an online store, connect with Google Analytics, and integrate with email platforms. All of these are available in WordPress. Let's also compare how we can add posts on these platforms. In WordPress, it's really simple. You just write the post title, and here you can choose to add paragraphs, insert images, and in this way you can make your blog more engaging. You can also customize the design to fit your needs. As for Squarespace, you can also create a blog page and choose its layout, but there are fewer design options. Adding posts works similarly. You can choose a title, write the text, and add blocks, for example, images. In general, you select blocks from the library, from stock, or upload your own, and then craft the page. Overall, it's the same process, but within the template you initially chose. WordPress, on the other hand, offers a more flexible structure. You can also use the Elementor page builder to create the blog page within this editor. it offers a huge selection of different elements: gallery items, social media integrations, slides, media carousels, forms, login forms, menus, and much more. Everything is more customizable. Plus, you can host it on services like Verpex for as low as 60 cents a month. And folks, let's talk about one thing that's key for any website: hosting. While Squarespace takes care of hosting for you, WordPress requires you to find a hosting provider. If you're leaning toward WordPress but want to keep costs low, here's a great tip. Verpex offers super affordable cloud hosting at just 83 cents a month. That's an amazing deal, especially if you are just starting out. It lets you enjoy the full flexibility of WordPress without breaking the bank. So whether you're choosing WordPress or sticking with Squarespace, remember that hosting is a big part of your decision. Verpex makes it easy and budget-friendly. If you go to the WordPress route, security and support. When it comes to security and support, WordPress and Squarespace handle things pretty differently. WordPress is open source, which means you're responsible for securing your website. You'll need to rely on plugins for things like backups and firewalls, and you'll have to make sure your themes and plugins are always up to date. If you're not diligent about this stuff, you could run into security issues. Squarespace, on the other hand, takes care of security for you. Since it's a closed platform, all updates and security patches are handled automatically. You don't have to worry about your site being vulnerable to attacks. And if something goes wrong, Squarespace has a support team that's available 24/7 to help you out. It's a much more hands-off approach to security, which might be appealing to people who don't want to deal with the tech side of things. Squarespace versus WordPress. Which is better? So, which is better? Well, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're someone who values control, flexibility, and the ability to scale your website as big as you want, WordPress is your best bet. But keep in mind, it does come with a bit of a learning curve and requires more maintenance. On the other hand, if you're after ease of use, stunning designs, and a simpler way to get a website up and running with minimal effort, Squarespace could be the perfect fit for you. It is ideal for creatives, small business owners, and folks who just want a beautiful site without all the technical hassle. At the end of the day, both platforms have their strengths and weaknesses. It really comes down to what you prioritize, whether that's customization and control or simplicity and ease of use. Thanks for watching. Until next time.